guys, how's it going? My name's the Breph and welcome to another challenge video. Today I'm asking the question, can you beat Pokémon FIRE RED OMEGA with only random Pokémon? A lot of you seem to really enjoy my Emerald Kaizo with only random Pokémon run, so I thought, why not extend that to other ROM hacks? And the first one that came to mind was another one of the Gen 3 ones. For anyone who doesn't know, FIRE RED OMEGA is essentially Fire Red, but it has every single Pokemon available to catch in the game up to this point, all 386 of them. The levels are slightly harder, but not brutally unfair, and actually it's a lot of fun to play through. As for the format for this one, well, it's going to mirror precisely how I did it in that Emerald Kaizo video. We are taking to Google, and we're going to use the random number generator to randomize us 9 different Pokemon. Why 9? Well, we have to have a starter, and we're going to add 1 new team member for every gym badge we claim. Now, I don't know about what some of you educated and well-informed people in this community have to think about it, but I've been hearing whispers that this challenge running scene is on its last legs and dying quickly. And I say before that happens, we should talk about the rules, because nobody likes to be left hanging. They are pretty straightforward as it turns out. We're only allowed to use those randomly generated Pokemon in battle, and I'm only allowed to add 1 member after every single gym badge we claim. No items are going to be allowed in these battles, and as ever, TM usage is more than okay. I am going to need to catch, I think, 1 HM slave for this run, and as long as I don't use them in battle, I'm saying that's a-okay. Hopefully you agree. Before we jump straight into this video, I'd like to give a huge thank you and shout out to the channel members, all members, but namely Jackie T, Jordan Holmes, Bob Joe, and Brace Mino. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you would like your name featured in a video, or even to get hold of some of those slick new emotes, then you know what to do. Of course, nobody ever has to do this, I just feel like shouting it out. And hey, while we're here, let's do another shameless plug. If you want to like this video, there's a thumbs up button, and while you're down there, why not consider hitting that subscribe button, and maybe, just maybe, if you're feeling saucy enough, tapping that notification bell to get updates whenever I upload new content, or even go live on a live stream. Anyway, with all formalities aside, why don't we begin? But not in the usual way. We first need to know what our starter's going to be. So for this, we head straight over to the random number generator on Google, punch in generate, and get the number 337, which equates to a Lunatone. Not a bad start. With that knowledge safely in our heads, we begin the game, choosing the male character and giving ourselves the ever-witty and inventive name of Breph. We then get to name our rival, and after thinking about it for a hot second, I decide to name him after my closest personal rival in the world, Alcohol. And yes, in case anyone's wondering, I'm currently sat here recording this with a half pint of whiskey and a half pint of Coke next to each other. So this is going to be one hell of a recording, innit? Oh, and spoilers, because I'm pretty damn salty today. With that, we try to escape the confines of the prison that is this challenge community, and unfortunately, the YouTube algorithm says no and drags us straight back to the lab, back to the content that we all love to see. Here we get hold of our Lunatone and begin the first battle against Alcohol, one that, for some strange reason, I'm able to win. Alcohol just can't stop me now. With that first fight over, we head up to Viridian City and into the Pokemart, where we are able to take Oak's parcel and deliver it back to him. Back in that lab, he tries to give us a bottle of the worst drink ever to be created, Iron Brew. Iron Brew, of course, is the second worst thing ever to come out of Scotland, but that's just my opinion, and don't take my criticisms to heart. I don't know Iron Brew personally. In fact, according to my very ill-informed and frankly unreliable research, profits of Iron Brew are dwindling so much that I'm fairly sure that Iron Brew is going to be a dead thing in just a matter of time. Do you know what else is just a matter of time? Us encountering alcohol yet again. We head over to do the optional rival fight, and of course we defeat alcohol before it can even get its grips around us. And with that, well, I think you all know what's coming. It's time to go and challenge Brock, and one of the things this ROM hack has done is make it so that every gym leader has a full team of 6, which when we've only got 1, puts us at a bit of a disadvantage. The good news is that the Pokemon that we've randomised is pretty bulky in the special attacking side, and most rock types have a very high physical defense stat. With that in mind, Brock's team does include a couple of water types, which does put me on edge. But the good news, as ever, that's one badge we've been able to claim, and of course, with a new badge comes a new team member. So we head over to the random number generator, we hit that button again, and it gives us number 364, which is a Celio. Again, not half bad. Of course, Celio belongs to a group of Pokemon that, well, they doesn't really have a place anymore. But when they got to this design, they stopped trying, didn't they? I mean, can you tell? It's called Celio, it's just a seal. Oh, and it's the typical water and ice combination. Ugh, the Pokemon Company have run out of ideas. They're gonna go bankrupt. They're gonna give up sometime soon, aren't they? Well, as long as they want to give up, that's fine by me. But I'm not going to, and that means we have to press onwards. Onwards towards Cerulean City. Here the truth is that I struggle to know what to do. Do I go in and challenge Misty, knowing that I'm at a disadvantage with my Pokemon? I mean, one's weak to water, one can do pretty much nothing to water types. Or do I head north and try and tackle that rival fight where I know I'm still going to be at a disadvantage because of the way the leveling system in this game works? Unfortunately, with no right answer for me to choose, I do opt to head north and promptly get my arse handed to me, as Alcohol just knows how to kick me down. Alcohol is just sadly one of those people that likes to take uninformed and blind aim at others. It just likes to make people feel bad about themselves, irrespective of personal circumstances or even proportional successes that people are having in their lives. Alcohol is there to just wrap its oily little hands around the throats of those, you know what? Never mind. The point is that when we go back, it doesn't have the same effect on us, and with that we can just knock it aside and get on with our lives. And that means that we head up to Bill, we help him out with his little problem. He seems to have got something caught inside of something else, and I don't even want to go there. But with that done, we head down and we have to bite the bullet. We have to take on Misty. So, Misty, well, shy of any jokes that may get me into serious trouble like they nearly did last time, this girl caused me an awful lot of heartache. Where I was initially happy with my first 2 randomizations, the limitations of those 2 as a pair really came to light here, because I had to do this fight over and over, and at different levels as well. This was a very tough fight. Ultimately, it took us grinding all the way up to a gargantuan level of 30, which, if you ask me, is a little bit of overkill to deal with the second gym, and that meant 30 on both my Pokemon, and even then we only just survived with practically no HP left on the Celio. However, just like the Challenge Runner community, we were able to band together and only just pull through. But we did survive despite all of the predictions that we would do otherwise. And even better news, that means we get to head back to the randomizer where we smash that button harder than you should smash like on this video and draw the number 255, which is, unfortunately for us, only a Torchic. Brilliant. But you know what? Communities and trends come and go, and they face hardships and difficulties, and just like this Torchic is to our team a hardship and a difficulty, I'm almost certain we're going to pull through. Unfortunately, there's only one way for us to figure out whether or not that's the case, and that is to go head to head with our demon alcohol yet again. Now remember what I was just saying about that Torchic being pretty much useless? Well, actually it turns out it wasn't, because after dispatching with the first 2 members of the team, I decided to bring it in, and it pretty much sweeps its way through the rest of them. And with that we get to go up to the captain's office, and we get rewarded with the HM for Cut after giving him a rub down in his special regions. We also take this opportunity to lean in, whispering over his shoulder and into his ear, "I'm the captain now." Thanks to our little exploits on that boat there, we gain access to Lieutenant Sergi's gym, and with that we get to take it on for the 3rd badge in this game. The lieutenant had me worried. He had me shaking in my boots because he put out a public safety announcement saying that unfortunately, due to what I can only assume is his own insecurities at the size of his manhood, the challenge running scene for Pokemon was about to be cancelled and everyone was going to have to give up and go and work their asses off doing some boring 9 to 5. And as if that wasn't bad enough, because of the cancellation, unfortunately, you wouldn't even be able to spend your lunch break watching some fantastic challenge videos, such as these ones on screen now. However, after a short moment, we came to our senses and realised that actually a community is more than just the total views it gets. It's about the people that enjoy watching the content, and as long as there are people who are invested in the content, then there will always be a community ready, willing and able to give out the content that they want. And thanks to that for that bit of knowledge and that forethought, the lieutenant had no chance. And before long he's handing over the 3rd gym badge, and for everyone wondering, yes, that means we're going back to get another team member. Back on that saucy little randomizer we've got, we do it yet again and draw the number 70, a Weeping Bell, which unfortunately for me doesn't look like it's gonna be the best team member. Although it is one of the largest and most gifted mouths in the franchise, I'm not really sure the extent to which Weeping Bell is gonna help us. And the good news is that we might not even need to keep it for much longer, because with Lieutenant Surge defeated, the game is so open to us that our first stop almost has to be Celadon City to take on Erica. Erica. Oh, Erica. Unfortunately for her, she didn't anticipate us coming along. With a Psychic, Ice, Poison and Fire type in the team, unfortunately there is no Grass type on the planet that is strong enough to deal with us. And like that, we've just claimed the 4th badge without even exerting any sort of manual or physical effort. In fact, the most manual and physical effort I have to exert for that badge is to head back to the randomizer and click that generate button, which lands us on the fantastic number of 207, a Gligar. Do you know what? A Pokemon that's only weak to water and ice? I think I'll take that, you know. And I actually think it'll come in pretty handy, because the next major fight is against Giovanni in the Rocket Game Corner, and he has a team of ground type users, bar his Kangaskhan and Persian. This is one of those fights that could affectionately be described as a clean sweep. I mean, the only way to really cock it up would be to do something, oh I don't know, incredibly stupid, like try and send out a fire type against a group of ground types. And I don't know anyone on the planet who would be stupid enough to do that sort of thing. With the Sylph Scope now in our possession, we make our way into the Lavender Tower, where we have to fight our rival Alcohol again. Unfortunately, this time Alcohol wins, and I've inexplicably finished the half pint of whiskey and I ain't even mixed it with the Coke yet. Oh, this recording's about to go downhill, isn't it? This recording's about to go downhill so much he's going to be joined a fucking Pokemon Challenge community if you believe some insecure bloke that clearly doesn't bother to check his facts or inquire about personal circumstances. He just makes sweeping statements about other people. But you know what? It's fine, because if you want to deter thousands of people from potentially pursuing their dreams and entering a community that if they're destined to succeed in, they will succeed in, but if not, they should be part of it anyway because we're supposed to be inclusive and not divisory, then that's on you, my friend. And I'm not taking part of it because I think you're a... But no, you shouldn't take my criticism to heart because I don't know you from Adam, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone. But look, it's fine because I didn't include your channel name, or I just put a little line through it. Now, fuck off, Bellend. But anyway, with that done, we make our way up to the top of the tower where we defeat one Team Rocket Grunt. We defeat 2 Team Rocket Grunts. We defeat 3 Team Rocket Grunts. And then we rescue Mr. Fuji, who gives us the Pokéflute as the item as a reward. Then we head down and wake up a giant sleeping tank of a bear thing. It's a Snorlax anyway. We don't really get very far with it as it knocks out our Pokemon and we choose to run away from it because why not? And yes, I did just pause the recording to go and check back the footage because fact checking and getting the correct information when you make a point is vital to making a successful video. Thank you. I'm off for more whiskey. But hey, we're now 4 badges down, the map is entirely open to us, so what am I supposed to do apart from head down to challenge Koga? And let me tell you something now, I really didn't expect this guy to give me as much of a hard time as he actually did. He gave me a brutal time to the point where I actually ended up going and grinding what I thought to be an excessive number of levels. Now, granted, this took me longer than possibly it should have done. Maybe I could have, tweaked the team a little bit, maybe focused my grinding. But unfortunately, lockdown's been a lonely place, so I like to grind all over the gaff. A man's got to do what a man's got to do, and I'm pretty set in my ways. I like my team to all be a similar level. I like to put in a grind if it means that I can get to have things uniform and in the right way. And that meant I basically had to grind my entire team, and that just killed time. I think some of the main problems were the fact that he has, a trolly Venomoth. And it's the only way I can really say it is that he's a massive troll. Because the first few times, I thought it was a fluke, I'm not going to lie. It put my entire team to sleep and then just destroyed them. It was only after the 3rd time, I think, that happened that I realised I needed to go and do this grind. And thankfully, it paid off because we were able to come back and defeat Koga, although it still wasn't the first time of asking, which had me slightly concerned for the rest of the game. But the good news is that now we get to add another team member. So back we go to our handy little randomizer and we slap the button and generate the number 292, and my heart sank because I remember this number from having done 2 videos with it. That's right, we have to use a Shedinja, and who knows what this game has in store for us. So I don't know, maybe the Pokemon with 1 HP that can only be hit by super effective moves might have something in store for us. Although I'll be honest, I pretty much doubt it. Because do you know what's next for me? Because I pretty much forgot. All I know is that with that badge we gained access to Surf, and that took me over to Cinnabar Island, where we pick up the secret key and we head our asses deep into the fire type gym to face that bald-headed mad lad called Blaine. And I know he's technically supposed to be the 7th gym and therefore he's going to have 7th gym levels to him. But you know what, I just wasn't feeling doing the whole self-company thing at this point. So if you don't like it, leave an angry comment and call me. Hashtag Breph the player. Yeah. Blaine having fire type Pokemon wasn't exactly great for us to begin with. We've had better lineups against this guy, even with a Celio in our team. Unfortunately, the way this game works and him having a whole team of 6 makes him pretty much I don't know, infinitely harder, just like me. And because of that, I wasn't really sure what to do. I mean, I failed a few times, there's no way around that. And in the end, I resorted to just going and getting a few more levels and coming back and doing it the easy way. I was too stubborn to realise I could have gone on and do other bits in the story. But as it turned out, going and doing that would work in my benefit. Alas, that's a story for another moment, because right now, with 6 out of 8 badges in our possession, we head back to that naughty little randomizer and slap the button again, giving us number 275, a shift tree. I for one was somewhat happy about this, because knowing what the next gym in our path is means that having a dark type on the team should in theory at least make that infinitely easier. Unfortunately though, before we even get to that point, we have to go and do the Self Company, and that means kicking off another fight with alcohol. What is it about me and booze and fighting and ugh? Fortunately for me this time, it's not my fists getting bloodied, or my face for that matter. It's small animals under our command. And the other good news is that actually this wasn't a difficult fight, and we pretty much swept alcohol aside, which is not something that my liver can actually do anymore. I've ruined myself. Ah, well. With that out of the way, we head up a couple of floors and encounter Giovanni, who thinks it's acceptable to threaten us. Now, what he doesn't realise is that I'm clearly on some level masochistic. I'm also sadistic, so actually I don't really care which one of us experiences a world of pain. And on top of that, although I was slightly worried because you'd think, you know, being later on in the game, we might end up with slightly more difficult fight, our randomizations have been pretty kind to us so far, and that meant that when we came face to face with him, we didn't have any sorts of problems. We defeated him way too easily. And that meant that we could go over to the director to collect the Master Ball as a reward. Now, I have a bit of a habit of doing this, and I'm not even going to waste it on a Pokemon this time. Yeah, I'm just going to break your hearts outright. I head into the bag, over to the Master Ball, and I toss it off. Toss it away. Jesus, Breph, don't get those confused. Anyway, good news or bad news? Which do you fancy? I fancy the bad news. The bad news is the next gym's Sabrina. The good news is, well, there is no good news. The next gym's Sabrina. There isn't really much I can say about Sabrina, to be fair. This was brutal. This was very brutal, because I couldn't beat her even with a dark type on the team. Bad news was that we still couldn't beat her, even after levels and grinding. And then I thought maybe it was because I had a redundant team member. And I looked and I realised that I had a Shedinja. Oh, you know what's coming. Shedinja Sweet, baby. That's right. We put that bad boy in there, and it turns out we may not have even had to grind all that much anyway, because the second that thing is in the team, we obliterate her. Yeah, that's right. Who would have thought in their right mind that a Pokemon with 1 HP could be such a sweepy tank in this game? Certainly not me, but you know what? I feel sorry for that Shedinja, because we have to hit the randomizer again. Now we've got the 7th out of 8 badges. And we go and we do that, hitting it and getting 194, a Wooper. Brilliant. I thought about whether or not I should include it on the team, because obviously there's a ground type gym coming up and we never know what we might end up encountering in the Elite Four. I mean, I've never played this game before, so I didn't know. But then I had a look at Wooper's stats and I realised that, oh no. This thing is staying in the PC and never coming out. And I was actually quietly confident that I didn't need it anyway, because its only real help would probably be to deal with Giovanni, and I was already happy with the team that I had and the levels that I was at. So I made my way over to the ground type gym, and I kicked off the fight. And to be honest with you, no sooner had I kicked it off than it was already over. He hasn't posed a single threat to us this entire game, and this time of all the times, there's a gym badge at stake. And there's not only a gym badge at stake, because there's also a new potential team member at stake. And with that done, for the final time this playthrough, we head back to Google's random number generator. We slap the button, and for the final Pokemon, we hit that Valentino Rossi number 46, a Paris. Are you kidding me? Out of all of the sodding Pokemon that we could have finished this on, I could have shown a legendary off. I could have been gifted a Rayquaza. You give me a Paris. So I guess, lads, lasses, laths, insert your pronoun of choice here. I guess you're already looking at our final team for the entire game. But before we progress, let's recap on the 9 randomly generated Pokemon that we've had to run through this entire ROM hack with. We got Lunatone, we've had Celio, Torchic, Weeping Bell, Gilgar, Shedinja, Shiftry, Wooper and Paris. That is certainly something. I guess if I had to call it one thing, I'd say they were a ragtag bunch at the very least. And the power of the randomizer is that we could have had a Rayquaza, we could have had a full 6 team of legendary and mythicals, which would have been fun to show off, but no. We've not been given any outstanding Pokemon in terms of BSTs or even potentially their level up move pools. But you know what, if there were ever a team of misfits that were going to see us through to the end of a challenge, I would absolutely put my money where my mouth is and say that this lot could do it. And you know what, I'm determined to see it through. Before we can even get there, we have to finally put our rival to sleep once and for all. Alcohol, my dear friend, you cannot stop me. What I've been building here is more than just a YouTube channel. I've been building a community. I've been trying to foster love and caring, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let anyone try and tell me that that is doomed. Let alone alcohol. Alcohol. Shameless plug time though. If you'd like to join that community that I was just mentioning, it's pretty much a Discord server, I'm not going to lie. Link is in the description. Get yourself in there and spread the love. Ooh, I love the love. Alcohol's final team didn't really pose any more of a threat than it did last time, and with that we finally get to trudge our way towards the Elite Four. On the way we get to show off all of those shiny, glistening badges: Boulder, Cascade, Thunder, Rainbow, Soul, Marsh, Volcano and Earth. But I'm not yet satisfied, because we've got room for improvement. And the Elite Four in this game, no doubt, they're going to be worse than I've ever seen them. So I do something just for the memes. That's right, I grind my entire team up to level 69 before we walk in to face Lorelei. And you know what? Turns out that may have been a little bit too much overkill, because Lorelei was a first time victory. We just knock our entire team aside. Like, I've never seen her that easy. Ever. I mean, maybe I've seen her that easy, but never. Anyway, the fact remains that we beat her without any sort of issue, and that means we can move on to Bruno. Now, Bruno. He leads off with a Steelix, which is a bit of an issue because I wasn't anticipating an Onix, but you know what? We roll with the punches here. I thought, and I won't lie, I really thought, that we were going to end up getting an entire sweep on our hands here, but that again wasn't the case. And although we do get stalled at the Machamp a little bit, at the end of the day his team is no more difficult than Lorelei's, and I'm starting to wonder whether or not I've gone a bit too far. And when we walk into the next room to challenge Professor Oak's greatest conquest and think about all of those wrinkles and skin folds hitting in places that skin shouldn't. Oh my god, my eyes. I'm not going to lie to everyone, I really wanted this one to be a Shedinja sweep. It just wasn't to be, unfortunately. But the good news is, this was also a one-time victory. I don't understand why this game has just sort of front-loaded the difficulty, because it really hasn't been that difficult to get to the final member of the Elite Four, Lance. And I got a little bit cocky. One may say I was under the effects of Dutch courage, until I got into the fight that was and realised that I was in a world of trouble. Why? Because he has an Aerodactyl. That ordinarily wouldn't surprise me. But I've got absolutely bugger all that can deal with it. I won't lie, I thought about everything. I thought about maybe going back and getting my Wooper, teaching it Surf, maybe hoping that that would work, but then I'd have to run through the Elite Four again, and the Pokemon I'd have to sacrifice would be Shedinja, and I've decided already in my stubborn, alcohol-induced state that that thing is coming with us all the way to the end, and to me there was only one prospect: grinding. An awful bloody lot of grinding. So much grinding took place here that it put the strip clubs in London to shame. I didn't really know what to expect coming into this fight, but I certainly didn't expect such a huge jump in difficulty. I mean, it blows my mind how we could race through 3 members of the Elite Four and then just be slapped in the face by a wall. And that wall came in the form of a prehistoric rock bird. So I went and grinded. I'd considered Wooper, but you know what? Wooper wasn't the option, and I went for it. And even then, it was still a difficult one. I mean, Celio was really riding his luck. We had to grind that thing up to the point where it could survive a rock slide, and even that was a difficult task, let me tell you that. But I've said it before and I'll say it again, a challenge is not a challenge without a challenge. And I was certainly up for it. You see, this is what some people miss. They miss the point entirely. It's almost like they don't bother to do the research before they come out all carony and hating on people. Just because a certain title might make it seem like, oh, something's so easy. Yeah, I'm sure you can beat a ROM hack with 6 Pokemon. Where does the difficulty lie in it? You don't know until you try it. And that's the beauty of challenges. That's the beauty of Pokemon, the versatility of the games, the many different ways that you can play through it. A challenge, if you ask me, especially in terms of gaming, is just doing something in a way that you wouldn't ordinarily do it. And quite frankly, if that means you want to go and do brutally hard challenges with insane Pokemon, insane runs with insane amounts of planning, then go for it. That's a version of challenge. If you want to do something different to how you'd normally do it, play off the entertainment factor and try and give people a good time on the internet, then you should go for it. And you know what? People shouldn't be discouraged from getting involved in the community and giving it a go for themselves. Because if you ask me, that's not what this platform should be about. But anyway, I'm going to drop the salt now because we are approaching the end game and eventually, and it was a long time coming as you can see by the footage, but we are able to beat Lance, and that means that only one battle is left between us and the end of this challenge. Thank goodness. I need my bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. What am I doing? Kill me now. And that is against the champion, Alcohol. This took me maybe 3 attempts. Maybe that was all it took. It was just 1 to learn, 2 to experiment, 3 to succeed. And do you know what? I'm not even going to drag it on anymore because I've been pretty damn salty in this video, and I'm sure everyone needs to go and get some sweet stuff in their life. So what is sweeter than showing off our final 6 Pokemon in the Hall of Fame? The 6 Pokemon I chose to finish this game out. Lunatone, our starter, our Celio, our Torchic, our Shedinja, our Gligar, and finally our Shiftry. This game wasn't that brutal, but that team was randomly chosen for us and we've pushed it through to the very end. At the start of this challenge I asked a simple question: can you beat Pokemon Fire Red Omega with only a team of randomized Pokemon? The answer, unsurprisingly to most, is yes. Now, we got lucky with some of our randomizations. Others may have made the game a lot harder. Some may have made the game even easier, but the team that we had to choose from was diverse to a degree. And I, for one, am very happy about the way the run went, which I think is probably something quite important. Before we end the video, I've got one more thing that I want to say, and that's if anyone can detect a little bit of salt in this video, well, 1, congratulations, you astute little puppies, you've managed to find it out all this time. and 2, I think it's pretty justified. If anyone knows what it's in reference to, all I'm going to say is send absolutely no hate. I think I've made my views on the matter pretty clear throughout this video, and honestly I just want to focus on building a community of love and inclusiveness. Inclusivity, one might say, would be the correct word, but I'm drunk and who gives a shit. But you know what, if you're sitting there wondering about whether or not you should try a challenge run for yourself, even if not to upload to the internet, but just to do one for your own sake, 100% you have my support. Do it. And if you want to get involved in a Discord server, and you want to talk about your run, there is a link in the description. You are more than welcome in my server. In fact, I'd love to have you there. Also, feel free to join if you like memes. We got memes galore. Anyway, look, I've wasted enough of everyone's time here. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you're all staying safe. Don't get complacent now. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next one.